The first thing, কার মাইক খোলা, হেডফোনে শোনো সবাই, একো করছে। হ্যালো। হ্যাঁ, হ্যালো। হ্যালো। হ্যাঁ, ঠিক আছে। শোনা যাচ্ছে? আর ইউ এবল টু লিসেন টু মি, সারদা? কোথাও আওয়াজ আসছে প্রচন্ড। Okay. The first thing which I will be talking today, just hold on. This. Is first thing I will be talking about is state of germ layers. So we know one thing, that during development, the zygote turns into the blastula, gastrula, and when during this formation, three layers are formed. One is the ectoderm, the other is the endoderm, and the in between is the mesoderm. And in the mesoderm, there is a space formed, a fluid-filled cavity formed, and that is known as the coelom. And so now what happens? So these are the germ layers. So the blastula gets transformed into the gastrula, and that process is known as gastrulation. During gastrulation, the cells of the inner cell mass of the blastocyst. So if this is the blastocyst, inside the inner cell mass which is formed, move in small mass to the new final location. So the cells which are formed in this blastula up from the zygote, they gradually differentiate. Before differentiation, they move. There are types of movements. They move, the cells move. They move and they organize themselves into three germ layers. First is the ectoderm, second is the mesoderm, and the third is the endoderm. And each germ layer, ectoderm or mesoderm or endoderm, they give rise to specific tissues, organs, and organ systems. So eventually you find there are three germ layers. The first is the ectoderm, then you have the mesoderm, and below you have the endoderm. In between you have the fluid-filled cavity known as the coelom. So a fluid-filled cavity called the coelom is formed. So each of these germ layers, whether it be ectoderm or endoderm or mesoderm, they give rise to organs and organ systems. And what you have to study is what happens. Fate is what happens. Finally, what happens to the ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm. That's what you need to study. So, what these they produce tissues, organs, and organ system in the form is ectoderm. What does ectoderm form? It forms epidermis of skin. Then epidermal derivatives like your glands, hair, nails, and cows and goats, horns and hooves. Then the ectoderm, it gives rise to the nervous system. Then the medulla of adrenal gland, posterior and pineal gland. Then the eye, in the retina, iris, and ciliary muscle, they are all made from the epidermis. Your internal ear, the nasal and olfactory epithelia, they are made from the ectoderm. The enamel of the teeth, then the epithelium of the then some glands like oil glands, mammary glands, salivary glands, and lacrimal glands. That is the thing for ectoderm. The ectoderm forms all these tissues. Then you have the mesoderm. Mesoderm forms dermis of skin. Below your have muscles except your iris and ciliary muscles. Iris is in your eyes. Iris muscles except them all the from mesoderm. Then connective tissue like your blood, all these tissues, producing tissues are mesodermal. Then your kidneys are mesodermal. Mesodermal. Heart, blood, and lymph vessels, they are also mesodermal. Urinary and reproductive tracts are mesodermal. They are formed from the mesoderm. Most of your skeleton is formed from your mesoderm. Then your coelomic epithelium, that is inside the space inside your stomach. That is all stomach and body. There are places where the coelom, that is mesodermal. Your pericardium and pleura, they are mesodermal. The dentine of teeth is mesodermal. The cortex of adrenal gland is mesodermal. Mesenteries, sclera, choroid, then wall of the gut, except its lining, they are mesodermal. And the endoderm gives rise to lining of gut, except for gut and hindgut. Some glands like the pancreas, liver, gastric glands, intestinal glands, thyroid, parathyroid, thymus, and larger part of the prostate. They are endodermal. Then you have an inner layer of tympanic membrane. They form the lining of middle ear. You have the trachea, bronchi, and lungs, also endodermal, the urinary bladder, and the urethra. Now, if you have a look at this picture, in a frog, you can see which is the endodermal layer, which forms the notochord, which is the extra embryonic mesoderm. So, in a frog, you can see that this yellow layer is the endodermal layer, and this blue color on the top, it's the ectoderm. Then you have the neural ectoderm, that is the ones which make your nerves. This is the neural ectoderm. Red color forms your notochord. This color is the mesoderm. This orange color in cheek, you can see the mesoderm here. So these are the different regions in mouse, cheeks, zebrafish, and all the fate maps the regions which form what. I would say this is something which you need to remember. This is what layer forms what the tissues in what layer forms what organs and tissues. So the top part is known as the animal pole, and below is known as the vegetable. In the top part, this part will form the ectoderm or epidermis, and ectoderm. Then this region will form the muscle. This blood here. Then this region will form the different. This is the endoderm cells, endoderm derivatives. We have read what the endoderm derivatives are. All these things are formed from the endoderm. So you need to remember all these things. Today is a very short class, and I finished one chapter. This is the fate of germ layers. I will send this note, and then in the next class I will continue. So tomorrow I will not have any classes. I will not have. Others may have, but I don't have any classes tomorrow. I will not be able to take any class tomorrow. So. Anybody has questions, they can raise their hands. Please raise your hands. Nobody has questions? So I end my session today. We'll send the video recording.